All right, here we go. So we're going to start with some brief review of the last few things we learned about lists, and then we are going to finish the chapter. I'll answer any of your guys' questions, and then you guys can work on the homework that I assigned you guys. It's called Advanced Practice List, or Advanced List Problems, just to distinguish it from the first ones in my head. So that's for me. Real quick, do you guys have any questions on anything with lists? Cool. You guys are making my job easy. So first thing we're going to do, so if I have a list of numbers, let's just do this. If I have a list of words, 5, and this is hello world, who are you? How do I find the index of who? Asher?
Index, open parentheses, words, comma, who? I can't remember.
No. Lorian?
Words dot index parentheses who. Oh, yeah.
Yes. So we are looking in words for the index of who. That returns the number 2. You can use this to find the location of something in a list. So if you had 1,000 things in a list and you needed to know where it was because you had 2 lists that correlated together, or like in our video game we use indexes to deal with lists, and I may be able to edit the code to make it slightly more efficient so you don't have to deal with indexes, but I'll have to do that. I'll have to look into that. But basically we have 2 indexes, because if we have 3 arrows in mid-flight and 6 enemies, which we have to keep track of which arrow hits which badger. And we do that by having an index. So we loop through all of our arrows and we say, is this arrow hitting? And then we go through all of the bad guys. So does this arrow hit any of these guys? No. Okay, does this arrow hit any of these guys? No. Does this arrow hit any of these guys? Yes. Well, now we need to delete this arrow and this bad guy. So we have to keep track of the indexes we're looking at. So I don't know if we'll be able to get rid of index in our game, but it's possible. I haven't thought about doing it that way. So if we need to know where the index of something is, that is what you can do. So if you have a list of lists, you can also find it. You can find that as well. Now let's say I wanted to add a question mark to this. Oh wait, and one thing. Words.index howdy. What happens if we do this? Oops. Hang on, I just stopped the screen share. What happens? An error. Yep. Basically, it's a value error, meaning howdy's not in the list. Yes? Oh, okay. So that's just what happens when you do that. Let's say I want to add a question mark to the end of this. What would be the easiest way to do that? Using methods. Asher?
Nope, not
All right. If you guys can't remember what methods you can use, if you type a list and you hit period and then wait, you'll have a list of all of there's like 11 of them, all of the methods you can use with lists. Lorian?
Words dot appendix parentheses.
Not appendix.
Or append.
Yep, append. And what do we want to add?
Question mark.
So now words, question mark is at the end. Now I want to put an exclamation point after world. How do I do that? Brandon?
When you do words that and
If we use append, where does it add the? It adds it to the end. Yes, Cole.
Use insert and
Insert. Yep.
Oh, 0, right? 0 and then the thing.
Well, if I type in 0, where do you think the item I'm adding is
Well,
going to
do you
go?
want it at the beginning or the end? Where do you want
I
it?
said after world.
Oh,
So, well, hang on, Kevin. What'd you say? Say that again.
This zero is after hello.
Yeah, but I want it right here. I want it in between world and who.
it's 2.
This would be 0 index. This is 1 index, and we want it here. So what index would that be? 2. And then we put exclamation point. So now words. Now we've added that and added that. So depending on where you want to add something, that determines which method you're going to want to use.
Should have just looked at my notes.
Why do you say that?
Oh, because I know it's not right.
Oh. Now we can only use append and insert with actual lists. So if I have x is 10 and then do x dot append, and I want to add 10 to the end of it, because there are certain things, certain attributes that different data types have. So I can do things with integers that I can't do with strings, that I can't do with lists. So if I have x dot, I can now do all of this stuff with an integer. So I don't know what an as integer ratio does, or bit length, or conjugate, or denominator, or any of that. I can figure out what denominator does. And I can't insert anything in a string. So if I had, this makes it easier, string dot insert at 0, I want to add hi or hey. Again, I get that attribute error. The string object, you cannot do that with a string. It has to be a list. So what'll happen is, as you guys are coding, these attribute errors may pop up, and you're like, and you may not know why, because I'm doing list.append, like my list name is names.append, but you may have either typed something. So if you have for name in names and you mistype it, you'll get this error. So just be on the lookout that when you get this error, whatever you have before the method is not a list. It's something else. So either you misspelled something, you redefined the list somewhere on accident, or I guess you just don't know what you're doing, but I don't know. You guys all know what you're doing. Oh, okay, so now let's say I want to get rid of world. What are the 2 ways we know how to get rid of world? Lorian, give me one of them.
Words dot and then the index,
Then the index?
but parentheses, what would that be? 2?
Nope.
Oh, wait. Which one are we trying to get rid of?
We're trying to get rid of world.
Oh, 1, sorry.
Nope. World. With remove,
Alright.
remove removes words, delete takes out indexes.
Wait, so how do you do that again? Delete? How does delete work?
So you would just type the word del for delete. Notice it changes color. And then we do words, and then you do the bracket. So let's get rid of,
What about if you were in a loop? Like, if you were looping through and you wanted to delete the part of the list that it was on, if you were looping through a list, how would you delete that?
you want to delete the item that you're on.
Yeah, so like, would you do like delete dot and then brackets I if you're using I? Something?
If you wanted to cycle through a list and delete everything in the list, you could do that. But there's a method called clear that clears out a list.
No, but what if within the loop you had an if statement, and if the if statement did something, you wanted to delete that. Like, how would you use that to delete I? The current one was not.
You'd probably have delete I, delete word I,
Delete.
words I.
Oh, cool. Alright.
I want to get rid of R. I want to get rid of that. What do I type in here?
Delete. Or -2.
Or -2. I was just about to, yeah. You can also use negative letters or negative letters. -1. What is that going to get rid of? Good job. Yep. Hello. Who you? Hello. Who this? New phone. Who this? Question so far. All right. All right. So let's get into the new stuff. So I'm importing random, and I'm doing a blank list with nothing in it. This is really kind of how you want to start creating every list. My headphones just turned off for no reason. That I can see. So you'll want to start making most lists like this. You just have a blank list, and then you do something to it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put this little bit of code. What this is going to do, this will help on your homework too. This will create a list of 10 numbers that are randomly picked from 1 to 1,000.
Wait, why would it pick 1 to 1,000 to get 10? Oh wait, is that
10 numbers, those numbers are randomly selected from 1 to 1,000. So as you guys see there, I have a bunch of numbers. We've already learned, or you guys have actually done the sorting logic, where we have small is nums bracket 0, big is nums bracket 0. You guys don't have to copy this part. For lm in nums, if lm is less than small, small equal lm. Else, or if lm is greater than big, again, you guys don't need to copy this down, just so now big is 997 and small is 247. So those are the two biggest and smallest numbers in this list. If you want to find those sorts of things, or you want to sort them in alphabetical order or increasing order, you can use the sort method. So the way you do that is nums.sort. I was doing so good, not getting any accidental errors. Notice, nums has been reordered. It has been sorted. It is not, I can't go back to the way it was. So nums, notice, nums is sorted now, unlike here. You guys see that? So you can't go back once you've sorted it. Once it gets sorted, boom, you're done. It's sorted. You can't unsort. You can save that information, and we're going to get to that shortly. That's the part that confused the last class. So I'm going to go about that slightly differently, I hope. But for now, once you sort something, you don't need to save it to a variable, because if you did like sort num equals nums.sort, what this does is it doesn't save sort underscore num. It doesn't save the sorted version of nums to that variable. what it does is it runs that command again. It resorts it and then sorts it every time you call this line, every time you call this variable. So you don't need to do that. All you need to do is do nums.sort in your code, and that list is sorted immediately. Now, let's say you want from biggest number to smallest number, because currently nums is smallest to biggest. Let's say you want it the other way around. What you do is you still do nums.sort, but in the parentheses, you type reverse equal true. And then it sorts it the other way. Sort puts it in order. Sort and reverse puts it in the other order, in the opposite way. Yes?
Could you actually?
Okay.
I was like, could you make it like even? With like even numbers, you could do it with even numbers because you could like identify what even is, and then could you put like, how would you do that? Like, because you would put even, you wouldn't put.
I'd put for lm in nums if lm %2 = 0, print like something like this.
Yeah, that's what I was.
So that'll give you every even number in there. Let me just get this back. Do you guys have questions on what sort and sort reverse is? Any questions on that? Zoomers, are you good?
No.
You're not a Zoomer. Okay, I'm assuming they're good. There is also the reverse method. So words.reverse again permanently rewrites the list, but you are who world hello. It doesn't put it in chronological order, it doesn't put it in increasing or decreasing order, it doesn't put it in alphabetical order. What it does is it just reverses what's in here. So if we start with hello world, who are you? If you reverse it, you get you are who world hello. Kind of like the first shall be last and the last shall be first. That's what the reverse one does. Got any questions, Luke? No? Anyone have questions? If you do, I'm sure someone else next to you has the same question. Or one of our Zoomers does. Okay. So again, if I have, oh, here's a good question. Words.sort. What's the first element in words now after I've sorted it?
R.
Arg. Yep.
Because it goes in alphabetical order.
Goes in alphabetical order. Yep.
If you do words.sort reverse equals true, would you get you world who hello R?
Yes.
So let's say you had R and in the same list. How would it then start there?
Like R and like this.
Or no, and like AN.
Like this?
Yeah.
And you want this sorted?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm stupid.
I have a question.
Hang on. Words.sort. It puts it in alphabetical order. Yes.
Why this like, you know how Python can kind of draw circles?
Yes.
Why are they so wonky looking? Like, why aren't they like circular? They look like diamonds. Is there a way to like fix that?
I think so. I think you could draw your own rectangle. But there should be a draw dot circle or something like that.
Oh, it kind of works, but if you like zoom in, it's like a diamond.
Oh. Yeah, we'll get to that. Maybe not. So now my question is,
I'm not good at this one.
okay, so those are my words. What order are they going to show up? Lorian?
M, Abs, R, and Anna. Because it goes by letters. Wait.
Capital letters have a lower ASCII value than lowercase letters. And it's sorted, yeah, it's sorted by ASCII values.
So if you had like 2 capital letters and one was lower in the alphabetical like, chart, then it would be like the other one would come first. That makes sense, concept.
Capital will always come before all lowercase. If you don't want that to happen, you can put, now this is just kind of extra. It sorts them the way you would sort them. Not caring about capital or lowercase, you would just sort the words.
That's not what you want us to do that. You want us just to sort them.
On this question, having this in here would probably only be a multiple choice question.
It wouldn't be like a previous something for us to write.
No, if it was, I would say use keys equal str.lower. So I'd give you that. Because again, that's not something you're going to use too often in a lot of coding. Once you're not in a class and I'm not trying to evaluate you, how much do you know? You can Google everything or use your book. So, questions on that? We did reverse
Are we
sort.
actually gonna ever use that though?
To sort something?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yes.
Really? If we learn
In
how
our
to use
class,
it?
in our game, no. But if you were like, hey, I'm writing a program that is an attendance program, and once the user types in all the names of the kids, I need to display it in alphabetical order. I need to go through that list in alphabetical order, regardless of how they typed it in. Because on your, excuse me, so on schedule and perform, so your attendance is put in alphabetical order by last name, but that's not how it was inputted into the system. So you would need to edit and do that sort of stuff. Yes?
Wait, how would you make it alphabetical by last name if you had first name, last name in the...
You would do something like names is, here's a list, and then here's your, so your name would be, I'm just going to use letters. And then and then
Is there any-
so I would go and if I wanted it by last name, you could do And now I would.
Oh.
Does that make sense? So she's at first, then you, and then him.
Is that why usually in attendance it'll have last name, comma, first name, so that they can just do it by last name really easily?
Yeah, they split up the information into whatevs. Into however it's written. I don't know how, but yeah, that's why. That's why a lot of times in places, if you have different people entering data in differently, it can get really screwy because you may put spaces. You may put last name, comma, first name. The other person may put last name, comma, space, first name, and that space first name is stored as the name, which has happened to us before, and it screws up your guys' email addresses. Yeah, it depends on how you code, which is another reason why you really have to make sure you code well, and be thorough when testing your own code, because if you don't, nefarious actors can go through and break your system. So, okay, questions so far? Now this next little bit is going to be essentially for vocab only, and maybe a couple questions on a multiple choice section of a test. You have mutable and immutable data types. Does anyone know what mutable is? Yeah.
Just a random shot. It would be when a data type can be changed.
Perfect. Yep.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. Something that's mutable is changeable. Something that's immutable is not. Or like transmutation.
I thought of the turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like mutant, mutable, because they can like change. I don't know why. I mean, I got it right.
I don't know if that's if they share the same root, but
Mutation,
Yeah,
like to change.
mutation, yeah.
Exactly. But
Mutable.
They can mutate.
Yeah.
They can,
They can. All right. Well, that's.
Mutate is a word.
I know mutate's a word.
Thank you, Nickelodeon. Or what is it?
Oh my gosh.
Is it Disney?
I think it's Nickelodeon.
Thank you, Nickelodeon. For that.
Anyway, so mutable and immutable. Are lists mutable?
Yeah,
Yes. Can I change anything in a list?
yeah.
Yes. So if I have names and I want to change, this because I typed in this should be M instead of L, what would I do to change that?
I don't have. Sorry, what was your question?
I want to change this L to an M.
Well, you could go, name dot,
Nope, not names dot. How would I display just this right here?
names brackets 0.
How would I display
Oh,
this one?
bracket 2, or bracket 1, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Names bracket
Now, how do I print this?
names bracket 1, comma 1.
Nope, no
another
comma.
bracket. Oh, it's 2 brackets.
So if I want to change this L to an M, what do I do now? Asher?
I know, is it like names dot,
Nope.
sorry, names bracket 1, bracket 1 dot
Nope.
insert
Nope.
filter.
Lorian?
Do you delete?
Nope. What? Nope.
There's some way to change
Maybe
it, but I'm
why
not
don't you
sure
just
what
tell
it
us
is.
we'll learn more that way. Or
Because
faster.
it's called investigative learning. How do I declare anything in Python? How do I create a variable?
Equals M?
Yep.
Wow.
So now if I do names,
Well, that's
It's
not.
an M instead of an L. Wow. I did not catch on to that.
Yep. So that is how you rewrite something. What you can also do, this will be helpful for your homework, by the way. Well, kind of. So if I did names bracket 1 plus, what is that going to be now?
Oh, it's gonna be ML.
Yep, ML. And if I run this again, what's it gonna be?
ML.
Yep. So what you can do is you can add on to an individual element in a list. You will have to use it for your homework, except with numbers, not letters. FYI. Psst.
Hold up.
What? Numbers, not letters. But it's the same thing. Instead of having an L here, you have a number. And you just have to make sure that what you're changing is a number.
So would that number, so would it be, so if it was 5, you were adding a 10, would it be 15, or would it change to 5, 10?
If it were strings, it'd be 5, 10, but if it were numbers, it'd be 15. So, now that we've done that, we need to make copies of a list. We need to have 2 lists. So we have names, actually not. Do we have words left? Yeah, words. I need to make a double of this. I need to keep the original, but add stuff to it. Now, if I do words 2 equals words and words 2. They look like they equal the exact same thing, right? Well, they do equal the same thing. But if I do words 2 equals, or let's add what should the last element be in this list? Correct. What is the last element in words?
Whatever you want to post. Oh, it changes?
Oh, because they equal each other, right? So whatever it equals, it changes.
It's the only, it doesn't work with integers, it's only with strings, in which if you change one, it affects the other. It's because they both reference the same list. It's a little confusing. So the way you prevent that is, so we have words and words 2. Words 3 equals words 2, bracket, colon, bracket. Do you guys remember what this does in a list?
Doesn't it display all the numbers? Usually it would slice.
Splice. Yep. So colon, bracket, colon is how you splice. You put numbers in here. So you would put 0 to 3, and that gives you 0, 1, 2.
Wait, what does the original one have? Like with none of that?
Hang on, Cole, what?
How do you copy that process? How do you do it when you
So if you click on a line and you hit enter, it copies that line. You've asked that question before.
No, I asked for one about something else.
Oh,
Wait, that's pretty
Yeah, I
cool.
asked that one.
yeah. It's whatever line, even if you have a big chunk of code like this, if it's anywhere in there and you hit enter, it copies it.
That's so much faster.
Wait, what if you want to do like return? Is that's only for?
It's only in the shell.
Oh, it's only the shell.
Yeah. Otherwise, you have to copy and paste it.
I was trying that. And it was not working.
Yeah, no. So this is how you splice something. So if I had the days of the week and I just wanted to take out the weekend, you guys remember that example?
Yeah.
We take that out and it creates its own new list that's separate from the other one. If you don't have a start number or an ending number, it defaults to the beginning and the end. So it will start at the first index and it will end at the last index. So if you don't put numbers in there, what does it do? It copies the whole list.
And it uses that as words too.
Yep, so here's words 2. Words 3, oh yeah, I need to change that. Words 3 and words 2 are the same thing. But if I do words 2 dot append dog, they're 2 separate lists now. So this is really pay attention. If you want to copy a list, the easiest way is this, is to just slice but take the whole list out. There is a module called copy where you import copy, and then it's words for, you guys don't copy this down, just pay attention up here. Copy dot copy words 3, and it copies it the exact same way. And then there's also deep copy, which if you have lists inside of lists, it copies everything. The only reason I'm going over this is because it's in the book, and I don't want to skip over it, just in case.
Wait, why wouldn't you just do words for equals words 3?
Why wouldn't I do words 4 is words 3?
Yeah, doesn't that
Be-
do the same thing as copy?
No, because if I have words 3 and words 4, if I go words 3 dot append, hello Asher, that should only be on you would think that only be on words 3.
Right. So this
But
is
it's not,
for
it's on
words
words 4 too.
Okay.
Because if you do it this way, both of those variables reference the same list. So if you use one variable to change it, that change is mirrored in the other variable. So the most I'd get into on a test would be which is the best way to copy a list. The best way to copy a list is this right here. Okay? Copy colon CO, way to mnemonic device, I think is what it's called. Way to remember it. Okay. I did all that. Sort, reverse, blah, 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 blah. Reverse, names. Okay. That is, tuples. Tuples. Tuple is the immutable version of a list. That's it. So if I have a list, can I change a list?
Yeah.
I cannot change a tuple. Tuple.
That's how you spell it.
Yep.
Tuple.
I thought it was
Tuple.
I think that's like Tupac or something.
No, I'm not typing up Tupac on here. No. What that does, and again, this is for vocab. I'm not going to quiz you. The only thing would be which of the following is immutable or something like that. You just need vocab for this. A tuple is an immutable list, basically. I can do a bunch of the same things I can do with a list. Yes?
How would you write that? Tuple, bracket.
It's parentheses. And then
You just write top.
Oh,
well, that's just what I called it. That's just the variable. That could be whatever.
Wait, so how would you use the function tuple? Would you do
So what that'll do is words 3, I would go, and it makes it into a tuple.
okay.
So again, like for example, in your game, we use lists all the time because we're constantly changing values. We're not going to use tuples because we want things to change. However, if you were like the starting values or the things on screen are blank, are never ever going to change, I want to store them in a tuple. That way I don't have to worry about accidentally doing anything with them. Yes?
So for this, if you wanted to keep words 3 the same and have words 4 change according to what you wanted to change, you just have words 3 in a tuple. So you can compare it constantly. Or no?
So words 3 is tuple version of words 3. So words 3 is now that. So words 4 equal words 3. This is a good question. Words 4.
And if you added something to like words
Well, I can't add anything to it.
because it's
So words 4 dot append, we're going to get an error.
because of the fact that it's a tuple.
It's a tuple. I can't change anything
Because
to it.
it's-
So what if I wanted to change it, I would have to go, now I can go list words 4, and that changes it back into a list. So again, tuple, this is mainly for vocab, so that you guys know what a tuple is. Oh, what's a tuple? Oh, that means it's something that can't change. I have to go make sure I have to go see why my code's doing that. That sort of thing for this, for tuple. It's vocab and multiple choice material, not coding material. So as long as you get that, oh, I know what a tuple is, it's an unchangeable, immutable list, That's about all you need to know. And occasionally you'll get errors, and it'll pop up and say tuple blah 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 blah. And if you don't know what a tuple is, you're like, Mr. Stolter, fix it. Fine, I didn't teach you about that. So, questions. We did over references. I'm skipping over ID because you don't need to know that. That's a big project. Okay. Questions, comments, concerns? Anna.
This is not related to content, but I meant to tell you this at the beginning of class as well, but I have to tell you that Tuesday because I have to go home and take a medication. That's the 30 minutes before the end of the week, and I can't take this school.
Okay. You're good. Luke. Where are you, Luke? There you are. You left your water bottle, I think, in my classroom like 2 weeks ago. Your black one?
Oh, I do know what you're talking about. Yeah, I need to go pick that up.
Yeah, it's on my desk in my office. So next time you're at school, pick it up.
You're right. Thank you.
Yep. Okay. Questions on lists, tuples, how to mess with stuff, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So what you guys have for the rest of the hour is working on the advanced lists problem assignment on campus. There's 10 questions. They get increasingly harder. However, let me walk you guys through this real quick. So I'm going to stop this video. I'm going to start a new one, and then that's going to go on both classes.